What's up, everybody? My name is Ryane Jones, and I am the host of the program Ryane with an E, where we will have candid, honest, hilarious, and sometimes even serious conversation about the topics and happenings that are pertinent to young women and college students like myself. I will be opening up about my experiences as I navigate my way through adulthood, with the help of my homegirls, my role models, and of course, God. Thank you so much for tuning in to laugh, learn, and kick it with your girl, Ryane with an E. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ryane with an E. I am your host, Ryane, that's R-Y-A-N-E, and I am so excited for this episode. I'm here with my lovely grandmother, Miss Lynn. That's my nanny, y'all.
Hey.
And today, we're just going to be kicking it. I'm just so happy that you guys have tuned in. This is my first episode having a guest, and of course, who else to be my first guest but my favorite grandmother. She's thebomb.com. And so for today's episode, we're going to be doing 10 questions for my grandmother, 10 questions for my granddaughter. This is just something that we're going to be asking questions that we've never had the chance to ask each other. And hopefully if you are watching this show, you can watch it with your grandmother or with your granddaughter and just laugh and kick it with us. But before we get into the questions, I do want to hop into my favorite segment, our Queen's Corner. And who better than the Queen right next to me to get some advice from some nanny. For the Queen's Corner, I usually get some advice or some pieces of wisdom from the women who inspire me in my life. So at this point right now, for the people watching, what is some advice you would like to give them?
Some great advice that I would like to give is to, first of all, have faith in God, have faith in your family, and most of all, have faith in yourself.
Period.
Right. Period.
Okay, so let's jump into these questions. You got your questions ready, Nanny?
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell I'm the Gen Z. I got my questions on my computer, but my nanny, she has hers written down. So I'm going to start first. And so my first question for my nanny is, what is something you would tell your 19-year-old self?
Ooh, something that I would tell my 19-year-old self. I would tell my 19-year-old self to keep focused. Don't get deterred. Keep going. Keep chasing your dreams. When I was 19, I was the best hairdresser ever. And I had a dream of having my own salon. And I didn't quite take that step. So I'd say, keep going, girl. You can accomplish this. You can do it.
Period.
Period.
Okay, now your question for me.
Ryan, most people don't know that you attended private school. And that's kind of different for African-American little girl coming from an African-American neighborhood, African-American family. How was that experience? How was that private school experience for you? In a good way and in a bad way?
Well, overall, I think I had a great high school experience and middle school. But again, it's different for everybody. So for middle school, it was the first opportunity I got to be around people that didn't look like me. I go to St. Stephen, my neighborhood, like my grandma said, my neighborhood's black, come from a very black family. So coming to St. Francis at the age of 11, I was fully thrown into a culture shock. And I was like, these people, they don't live like this. And that's not necessarily a bad thing,
right?
But it just was something I was not used to. And so, of course, I'm in 6th grade. I'm being introduced to these new lifestyles, and then I'm also being hit with microaggressions. I got girls trying to touch my hair. I got people asking me if I can play basketball, if I live in the hood, if I eat fried chicken. And at the age of 11, I think I was really thrown in, and I had to mature very quickly in a way to adapt in that type of environment, to what's the word I'm looking for, to acclimate to that new environment. And I think that helped me when I went to Sacred Heart for high school, because I knew how to maneuver, I knew how to code switch, I knew how to get the best out of the opportunities that I was given. And of course, there were hard times, feeling isolated in classrooms. We're reading about Toni Morrison and different issues regarding race, but I'm the only black student, so no one else can share that experience with me, and then everybody else is looking at me like, what's she gonna say? So that also was a burden, but from that I was able to create the Black Student Union.
Yes.
I was able to bring initiatives in the school that I think really helped the environment. So I think even though it was challenging, it helped me create tools and build skills that'll help me in the future. So overall, it was a good experience, but yeah.
Yeah, yes it did. It made you a wonderful young lady. That experience was awesome for you.
Okay, for the second question from my Nana girl. Okay, so what is your favorite meal to cook?
Girl, you know what our meal is. What we love. Our fried fish. Our baked beans.
Yes.
Our coleslaw. And our tea.
Oh, yes. When was about maybe early Corona-ish. I was in the house and I was like, dang, I just want me some fried fish. And I have loved fried fish. You can ask anybody. I have loved fried fish since
she's old enough to eat.
Since I was little. Nanny used to cook it when we was younger. I've always loved fried fish. So a couple months ago, I'm sitting in the house. I'm like, dang, I really want some fried fish. I said, Nanny, I will go to the grocery store and pick up some catfish, some baked beans, and some food. If you will please just cook me some fried fish. And of course, since she's the best, she made me some fried fish, and it was y'all.
I think it was good just because we was eating it together, but it was delicious. And that's because she asked.
So yes, fried fish. She loves to cook it. I love to eat it.
Okay. Ryane, can you tell me how and why is family important to you?
Well, I think coming from such a strongly knit family, not even just by blood relation, but my church family, all my mama's friends, who I call my aunties, their kids, who are my cousins. I think just being raised in a strong family, a strong support system, has really instilled in me the great value of family, knowing that if my mom didn't have something for me, I could go to Miss Ivory, I could go to Casey, I could go to my nanny, I could go to my Granny Kim, and that they could supply the needs that my mother maybe didn't have the tools to. And so I think for anybody, that's what family should be. We are all coming together because we have things to offer, and then we also lack things that other people are better at. And I think when we use that, we're able to create a great, strong family. So I appreciate my nanny, I appreciate my parents, my other grandmothers, my Granny Kim, because they've all poured into me. And I think the person who I am today is all because of everyone who poured into me and contributed to my life and to my success. So for my grandmother, I want to ask, what is something that your mother told you that you have never forgotten?
You got to have faith. You have to have a strong belief in God, and that's who you hold on to no matter what, no matter if something it's not going your way, that's what you hold on to. And that's what my great-grandmother and my grandmother would tell us, and that's what we try to pass on to the other. I have a thing that I used to tell my daughter is, it's a whole lot of things that I can't give you, but I can give you Jesus. And that's what I did and I wanted to do for her as a child and for my granddaughter. So that's pretty much what she tells me, and that's what I've held on to for all these years.
So something that I know about my grandmother is that one of her best friends is Reese, and they've been best friends for way longer than I've been alive, longer than my mother's been alive. She's always been friends with Reese. And so I want to ask, how do you maintain your friendship with your closest friends?
First of all, me and Reese have been friends for a long time. And one thing that we do not do to each other, we don't lie. We're so truthful to each other. We never try to hurt one another. We've always supportive. We can cry together. We can laugh together. We even had our grandchildren 6 days apart. That's how much of a friend we are. But we do our things together. We read. We have the same interests. But most of all, we're always true to one another. We're supportive. We never down each other. We just keep each other lifted up, and I can tell if something's bothering her or something's not right with her. I pick up on that, and she knows it. And same way with me. You know, my sister, what's wrong? I've noticed. But that's the whole thing, that we are just truly open, and we truly are real with each other. And that's what keeps us friends. So Ryan, I know that we have several things in common. And one of the main things that we have in common is reading. Do you remember the first book your nanny ever gave you?
I remember my grandmother, she bought me this book that had, and this might not be the book you're talking about either. It wasn't it was a book, but it was like interactive, do you remember? Mm-hmm. And it had like all these different fairy tales and, what's the word I'm looking for? The fables, yes, all that stuff. So, and you could read along with it, but in the back it had all these different stickers, and you could take the stickers and fill in the blanks of the words. And I thought that book was so much fun. But I'm trying to think, what book are you talking about?
Oh, in no certain book. I mean, I just know that that's what we have in common, and we read, and I buy stuff for her to read, and she shares stuff for me to read. What was that one book you shared with me that was so good?
The Out of My Mind.
Yes, yes.
That was a book about this girl who has cerebral palsy, and basically about her perspective, because in her mind she's able to articulate her thoughts, and she has all these observations about the world around her, but since she's unable to talk, she's not able to express those out loud, and so it just talks about her thoughts and just her experiences. But that was a really good book.
It was a really good book, and I thought, wow, this kid is awesome. Because you were probably, what, 5th, 6th grade?
Yeah, around there.
And she's giving books for me to read.
I've been there.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was.
Okay, next question. So what is something that you have done that you think everybody should do at least once in their life?
Something that I did that I should do at least once in my life was I learned how to swim. Oh, I had been so scared. I had a really traumatic experience as a kid, and I never wanted to swim. I was scared, wasn't going to do it. I'd go to water aerobics, but as long as that water didn't go over my head, I was good. So they had this program, thanks Miss Pat, that taught adults how to swim. And I learned how to swim, and it was awesome. And I can't wait till this corona is over so I can go back swimming. But yeah, swimming was something that it was, and for African American women, you know, they say that most African American people, most of them don't know how to swim or too scared, and I was one of them. And I'm so glad I did that. That was so great. Now I think I'm a dolphin.
Okay. Mermaid.
So as you all know, my Ryane, she's going to Howard University, and she's going online now. Hopefully next semester she'll get to go to school. And then he ain't liking it, but oh well. But Ryane, how do you feel about getting ready to experience this whole college experience and going and adventuring out and just doing a thing? Oh.
When I get to Washington, D.C., I'm going to live a life that nobody has ever lived before.
Jesus.
I'm going to do all the living. I'm going to do all the fun. I'm going to do everything.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm so excited. I'm excited to meet new people. I'm excited to be challenged in school. I'm excited to just be in a new environment.
I know you are.
We're in Louisville, so it's such a small city. Everybody knows everybody, and I have my family. But when I get to D.C., I'm going to be...
No, you're not. Oh, no. I got people in Washington, D.C. for little does she know.
No, I'm saying, this is what I was saying, but they're going to think, oh, you some little girl from Kentucky.
They're going to think you country, but you going to sure make your baby.
I got something for them in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I got something for y'all.
So, Ron, can I tell the story of the dream that I had about you going to school? So, right when she graduated, so they found out that she had been accepted to Howard, and I went on and acted like I was happy, and yay! So I called Ebony, and I said, Ebony, I had this horrible dream. And she was like, Mama, what's wrong? I said, I dreamed that I called you one morning and asked you what was Ryane, and you told me you didn't know. I jumped in my car and I ran down to your house, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Where's my baby? Mama, I don't know. So I'm screaming and hollering and rolling in the front yard. Where's Ryane? Ryane, where are you? Where are you? Didn't know where Ryane was. I was so upset. Then Ebony calls and says, Mama, I found her. I said, where is she? Where is she? She's at Howard. What do you mean she's at Howard? She went to take some extra summer classes before school started. So I got in my car and I drove to Washington and I went and got my baby. And I was like, don't you ever leave here without telling me where you are. She said, but Nanny, you know I'm going to school. I said, but not yet. So I'm going to have DTs, but I'm going to be okay. I want her to do the best that she can be and be the best she can be. It's just going to be hard. It's going to be hard for the nanny to not see her baby.
Okay, so this is going to be the last question I have for my nanny girl, and that is, what are you most proud of about yourself?
As most of you all know, I'm a hairdresser by trade, and I love children. So I decided that I was tired of fixing hair, and I was going back to school. And I did. I got my associate's degree in early childhood education. It took a minute, but I did it. And that, to me, was one of the greatest things, because I never thought of myself as college material. And I went. And I succeeded. I ended up with Dean's List and African American Student Awards. And it was just an awesome time in my life. And that is one of the great things that I accomplished, and I'm loving it. I loved it. And I'm thinking about going back.
Okay. What am I going to say? So I'm so happy that I was able to ask questions and answer questions with my grandma. We truly had some fun.
Yes, we did.
Before we get out of here, though, I'm going to get into my other favorite segment, which is the You Go Girl. And for this week, I will be highlighting Miss Amari, and she has a business called Aromas by Amari. It is a candle business. They are made from soy and essential oils, and of course, love. Amari is a graduating senior at Louisville Middle High School, and she plans to attend WKU, majoring in elementary education. And I think I bought like maybe 3 or 4 of her candles, and y'all, they smell so good. So make sure you hit her up on Instagram at Aromas by Amari. She's super sweet, and just make sure you just get some candles, because not only are we supporting black business, but you don't want your house to be funky. So get you some candles, and yes, just support her. So Amari, you go girl. So again, Nanny, thank you so much. This has been the most fun episode I've filmed yet. I'm so excited for everybody to see this. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have as much fun as we do watching this. Thank you for tuning in and kicking it with me. I am your girl, Ryane, and I am logging out. Bye.
Bye.